reversal of Roe v. Wade, according to the Guttmacher Institute, abortion is now banned or severely restricted in 11 states. There you see in dark orange. 13 other states in light orange are where bans or severe restrictions are certain or likely. And at least 2 states, Louisiana and Utah, are in limbo due to legal fights. The rest currently have no restrictions. That includes Nebraska, where the woman you're about to meet says she faced issues trying to get an abortion last year after she learned her unborn child had severe birth defects and her own life was in danger. She traveled to Colorado to get the procedure, and she warns the option to travel could now be even more difficult. She talked with CNN's Lucy Kafanov. Here's her report.
Stephanie Dworak and her husband Dave always wanted a big family, a sibling for their daughter Harper.
Hi.
So when they found out Stephanie was pregnant with a boy last summer, they were overjoyed.
This is a very wanted child. We planned for this baby.
But 12 weeks into the pregnancy, an ultrasound revealed an omphalocele, a birth defect where the fetus's internal organs were developing outside the body. This photo shows a defeated Stephanie the day she received the tragic news.
What would that have meant for quality of life for this baby?
There would have been none. He would not have been able to survive or come home.
Stephanie was also told her own life could be in jeopardy. At 19 weeks, she and her husband made the painful choice to terminate the pregnancy.
An abortion was what I needed to save my life and give my son the dignity that he deserved. I couldn't carry this baby to term and have my husband have to bury both of us. It just wasn't an option. Abortion was.
Their home state of Nebraska allowed abortions up to 22 weeks, but they couldn't find a clinic that could schedule the procedure in time. After a desperate search across nearby states, the family settled on the Boulder Abortion Clinic in Colorado.
This is Dr. Hern.
Dr. Warren Hern has been providing abortions for nearly half a century. He's 84 years old and remembers the days before Roe versus Wade.
Thousands of women died every year from unsafe, illegal abortions. I think one of the consequences of this decision is that women will die as they did before Roe versus Wade.
In Colorado, abortion is legal at all stages of pregnancy. Even before the Supreme Court's ruling last week, Colorado's family planning clinics were struggling to cope with a surge in out-of-state patients.
This is sort of an abortion intensive care unit. We get patients from all over the country who can't be seen in other clinics.
How do you see that impacting the surge of patients coming to Colorado?
It's more than we can absorb. And so it takes a long time to expand the services. You have to find the people who will do this and risk their lives to do it.
As one of the few people in the country who performs legal abortions later in pregnancy, Dr. Hern says he's seen his patient load increase 50% from a year ago and says he's worried too many women won't get the care they need.
One of the things that's critical to understand is that safe abortion is an essential component of women's health care in the 21st century. And that's the way it should be. And no woman's life and health should be at the mercy of the next election or a zip code.
What's your message to people who say, abortion bans, and especially late-term abortion bans are, it's about protecting that child's life?
I would love somebody who says that they were trying to protect my child to look me in the eye and say that he deserved to come into a world where he would have to fight for every breath he took and be hooked up to drugs for his brief existence. How is that pro-life? How is putting my life in danger pro-life?
Harper still asks about Oliver James, the name the Dworaks picked out for her would-be brother.
I had to tell her that baby was too sick and that baby wasn't going to come home with us and that she wasn't going to get to meet her little brother.
His ashes, hand, and footprints enshrined on the living room shelf.
We very much want another child, but what if this happens again? I was so excited at the idea of a positive pregnancy test, and now it scares me. It scares me because I might not be able to get an abortion this time.
Although Colorado guarantees the right to an abortion, the procedure is now illegal in many of the surrounding states. We've seen an influx of folks coming in from out of state to get an abortion, which is straining clinics here. It's increasing wait time. Planned Parenthood tells me there's a minimum 2-week wait right now as providers struggle to cope with the surge. Anderson?
Lucy Kafanov, appreciate it. Thank you. We'll be